the evangelist and what doctrine they must know for their efforts to be effective. But the success of the evangelist is not solely in the knowing, but also in the being. God intends for people to love Him with all of their heart, mind, and soul, and thus the goal is to engage the entire person in our witness. Not focusing on the mind and missing the heart, or engaging the heart and neglecting the mind. Engaging people is a comprehensive project. This work in your hands is written by a man who seeks to teach you as best he can how to tell the truth in love. I've seen him do it more times than I can count. There have been countless times when the knock on the door came, the Jehovah's Witness standing behind it then welcomed into our home for a conversation. I've seen him be curious, prayerful, discouraged, but then instructed by it. Steadfast in making sure the truth was made plain in his speech and discernible in his body. I've seen him sit in the scriptures, turning them over in his mind until the living word became alive in him, so that his preaching was an overflow of intimacy as opposed to arrogance. When the woman who worshipped other gods came his way, he discerned that to address her idolatry, he first needed to acknowledge the pain that brought her there. He decided against the usual way, which assumes that all people need is truth, and not also a hug. I've also seen him challenge, call out, and confront lies with a boldness that transcended him. I've seen him enter rooms and say things that would have gotten him stoned in another era. And knowing this, he said them anyway. I say all of this to say I have seen him time and time again be like Jesus. And that's the whole point of everything, including this work. That you wouldn't hide or even seek, but that you would simply be like your Lord, full of grace and truth. Introduction. Hey, do you believe in God? I've started many conversations with these exact words. I love how a question so simple can take a conversation anywhere. More than that, I love what God can do with a conversation when a heart is committed to sharing His truth with the world around it. Talking to people about God feeds me in a unique way. It is both a pouring out and a filling up. It requires me to give up some of myself, but at the same time, I don't feel like myself when I don't share my faith. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I've accepted that I'm an evangelist at the core. There is a deep burning inside me to share the gospel with those who do not know it. What is the cause of this burning? Imagine walking around every day of your life and all you see is people dying of thirst, but you know where they can get free water. In fact, the person who has free water has given you access to the water. This is the hard part, though. The people around you don't know that they're dying. They don't even know that they're thirsty. Not only do they need you to offer them water, but many of them also need you to prove to them that water is what they need to live. Do you not offer the water because you feel like people will reject you? Or do you find ways to show them that they are thirsty and that someone wants to give them a drink? The latter has called me by name during my time as a Christian. The gospel message is the water the dying world needs. Jesus is the one who has given us access to life because He has given us access to Himself. He is the living well of water that never runs dry. Jesus is the one who wants to quench our thirst forever. If we have the gospel in our possession, why don't we share it with those who need it? I believe that as Christians, we are all called to share our faith. The reason is that Jesus commanded it. All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. And behold, I am with you always to the end of the age. Matthew chapter 28, verses 18 through 20. We are all called to share our faith, but that looks different for every person. For me, it doesn't matter where. The barbershop, the airport, the grocery store, in the backseat of an Uber ride. There is never really a bad place to talk to someone about the God who created them. You might be different. You might not have a special calling as an evangelist. Sharing the gospel with strangers while in public might not be your thing, and that's okay. God has given each of us different gifts. The key thing is to recognize that God can and wants to